The glittering world of global celebrity often appears from the outside to be a flawless tapestry of romance, success, and carefully curated public appearances. We watch our favorite stars walk the red carpets of the world, adorned in haute couture, smiling for the flashing cameras of the paparazzi and projecting an aura of absolute bliss. It is easy to look at these moments and believe that the lives of the rich and famous are entirely detached from the ordinary complexities of human relationships. We see the grand weddings, the lavish vacations, and the public declarations of eternal devotion, and we assume that their journeys to happiness were smooth, linear, and completely free of the messy emotional baggage that defines everyday romance. Yet behind the velvet ropes, beneath the blinding lights of international stardom, and far beyond the polished frames of social media posts, lies a parallel universe of silent conflicts, unspoken histories, and unresolved tensions. The glamour we consume on our screens is merely the final product of a chaotic, interconnected network of past loves, private promises, and sudden transformations that can turn overnight. In the modern landscape of digital media, where every word spoken into a microphone can be archived, dissected, and weaponized, the boundary between a celebrity's highly publicized present and their deeply hidden past has become increasingly fragile. If you enjoy diving deep into the hidden narratives and unexpected dramas that shape the entertainment world, please take a quick moment to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on the stories behind the headlines. The fascinating reality of contemporary fame is that no matter how high a star rises, and no matter how grand their current triumphs may be, the echoes of their previous chapters are always lingering just beneath the surface, waiting for the perfect moment to resurface. This reality becomes particularly intense when a massive global icon achieves the ultimate milestone of a fairy tale wedding, drawing the eyes of millions around the globe. Such moments of peak public attention naturally create a vacuum, pulling in old narratives, forgotten conversations, and the voices of those who knew these celebrities before they reached their current heights. The internet has a unique way of keeping receipts, transforming a seemingly harmless podcast episode recorded months ago into a ticking time bomb of social media speculation. When a prominent influencer sits in front of a microphone to share personal anecdotes about a past relationship, the initial release might pass with standard engagement. But the true power of those words often lies dormant until a major life event triggers a retrospective investigation by thousands of dedicated fans. This is precisely the storm that has begun to brew in the wake of one of the most magnificent and talked about celebrity weddings of recent times, demonstrating that even a £1 million celebration in a historic European villa cannot completely shield a high-profile couple from the complex web of their own history. The collective memory of the internet is long, and when the passionate fan base of a legendary pop star senses even the slightest hint of a shadow being cast over their favorite artist's new marriage, the reaction is swift, intense, and fiercely protective. The narrative that is currently unfolding across social media platforms is a masterclass in how modern celebrity culture operates, where personal evolution is viewed through a lens of skepticism, and where the contrast between who a person used to be and who they are now becomes a battleground for public opinion. To understand the gravity of the current uproar, one must look at the sheer scale of the romance that has captured the collective imagination of the public over the past 2 years. An international love story that seemed to defy the cynical expectations of the entertainment industry. It is a story that began in the elite social circles of Los Angeles, blossomed on the streets of London, and recently culminated in a breathless, multi-day celebration on the sun-drenched island of Sicily. The union between a record-breaking pop diva and a critically acclaimed British actor was hailed by many as a perfect match, a coming together of two individuals who shared not only an immense level of talent but also a deep appreciation for culture, family, and mutual support. Their public appearances became iconic in their own right, defining a new standard of modern celebrity romance that was simultaneously deeply affectionate and unapologetically glamorous. From the moment they made their spectacular red carpet debut at the historic Met Gala in New York City, it was clear to the world that this couple was not interested in hiding their affection or shrinking away from the spotlight. They leaned into the grandeur of their positions, becoming a favorite target for photographers who captured their frequent, deeply romantic strolls through major cultural capitals. Yet, it is this very willingness to embrace the public eye, this apparent comfort with the ultimate symbols of Hollywood status, that has now become the focal point of an intense and growing controversy. A series of resurfaced comments from a prominent digital creator has suddenly forced fans to look back at the origins of this romance through a completely different lens, raising questions about sincerity, personal transformation, and the hidden cost of moving on. The drama does not stem from a direct confrontation or a public feud played out in the pages of traditional entertainment news, but rather from the subtle, nuanced world of independent audio broadcasting, where candid reflections can easily be interpreted as direct attacks. As fans continue to dissect every syllable of the audio clip currently circulating across Reddit and various social media platforms, a complex picture is emerging of a past relationship that allegedly stood in stark contrast to the luxurious, high-profile life that is being celebrated today. The core of the issue lies in the profound difference between the private declarations a person makes in their past and the highly visible actions they take in their present. A discrepancy that has left many wondering about the true nature of personal growth and whether someone can truly change their core values for the person they love. The passionate defenders of the global pop star have made it clear that they will not tolerate any narrative that threatens to diminish the joy of the newlyweds, leading to a digital standoff that highlights the intense loyalty of modern fandoms. As we prepare to delve into the specific claims, the timeline of events, and the emotional weight of these revelations, the atmosphere remains charged with anticipation, setting the stage for a deeper exploration of a romance that is as complicated behind the scenes as it is beautiful on the surface. The delicate balance of this high-profile narrative completely shifted when an audio excerpt from a February 2026 episode of the Better Half podcast began gaining massive traction across digital platforms, effectively shattering the serene aftermath of the summer's most anticipated celebrity wedding. The podcast, co-hosted by prominent media influencer Victoria Villarroel and her close confidant Stassi Caranicolaou, originally aired to a standard audience of lifestyle and pop culture enthusiasts. But its recent viral resurgence has completely altered its impact. In the specific segment that has triggered an absolute firestorm among fans, Caranicolaou casually guided the conversation toward Villarroel's romantic past, specifically referencing a previous relationship with an unnamed British individual, whom she labeled as her co-host's ex-British boy. What followed was a candid, highly charged reflection by Villarroel regarding the current state of her former partner's life. A state that she described as being an absolute contradiction to everything he claimed to stand for during their time together. Without explicitly naming the actor Callum Turner, Villarroel shared with her listeners that this specific individual is now officially engaged to an incredibly famous person, a revelation that immediately set off a wave of digital detective work across internet forums. The tension in the audio clip becomes palpable as Caranicolaou expresses genuine amazement at how the man's current lifestyle has become the complete and utter opposite of the modest, private existence he insisted upon when he was dating Villarroel in the past, prompting a deeper, more critical analysis from the host herself. This stark contrast between past promises and present realities forms the emotional core of the controversy, as Villarroel openly questioned the authenticity of her former partner's previous behavior. She reflected on the jarring nature of the situation, asking aloud if he had been entirely untruthful with her about his true desires, or if he had simply undergone a radical transformation upon meeting his new partner. The specific details shared in the broadcast painted a vivid picture of a man who was adamantly opposed to the traditional trappings of Hollywood notoriety, a characteristic that fans found impossible to reconcile with Turner's current highly publicized relationship with global music sensation Dua Lipa. According to Villarroel, her former boyfriend would repeatedly deliver intense declarations about his desire for absolute privacy, explicitly stating that he would never date anyone who attracts the attention of the paparazzi, would never involve himself with a famous individual, and viewed high-profile industry events like the prestigious Met Gala as fundamentally corny. These specific examples served as a direct catalyst for the intense online backlash because they described the exact activities that define Turner and Lipa's current public life. The couple, who recently solidified their bond in a magnificent wedding ceremony in the United Kingdom followed by a lavish celebration in Italy, have become celebrated for their frequent, deeply affectionate public outings, which are regularly documented by international media agencies. Furthermore, their official red carpet debut as a romantic unit took place at none other than the 2025 Met Gala in New York City, a direct contradiction to the anti-fame ideology Villarroel attributes to her British ex. The revelation reached a crescendo when Villarroel dropped a true bombshell regarding the exact moment her past relationship completely unraveled, claiming that she was actually on an active dinner date with her boyfriend in London when he first crossed paths with the woman who would eventually become his wife. Described the scene as entirely surreal, Villarroel explained that the famous pop star happened to sit directly next to their table at a restaurant, marking the precise geographical and chronological intersection where her private romance began to dissolve and a global media phenomenon was born. The influencer described the entire sequence of events as completely crazy, utilizing humor as a shield by joking that her profound relationship troubles often serve as a source of comfort for her close friends, who listen to her experiences to feel significantly better about the minor issues within their own love lives. The internet response to these detailed claims was instantaneous and deeply divided, splitting the digital landscape into passionate factions. On popular discussion platforms like Reddit, the massive and fiercely protective fanbase of Dua Lipa immediately went on the defensive, viewing Villarroel's podcast reflections as a calculated, bitter attempt to cast a shadow over the newlyweds during what should be the happiest month of their lives. Many dedicated supporters launched harsh criticisms against the influencer, arguing that her decision to recount these private grievances months after the initial recording, right as the wedding photos dominated global media, was intentionally malicious. Some commentators went so far as to label Villarroel's experience a public humiliation ritual, while others took a more analytical approach, arguing that human beings naturally alter their boundaries, behaviors, and perspectives when they encounter the true love of their life. This faction of the audience defended the actor, suggesting that his willingness to embrace the paparazzi, attend the Met Gala, and live openly in the global spotlight is not a sign of past hypocrisy, but rather a testament to how deeply in love he is with Lipa, showing that he simply no longer cares about his old reservations because his devotion to his new wife outweighs his desire for anonymity. Conversely, a smaller but equally vocal group of internet users rose to defend Villarroel, asserting that as a digital creator and an individual who experienced real emotional confusion, she possesses an absolute right to share her personal history on her own platform. These defenders argued that if the gender roles were reversed, the public would express profound sympathy for a partner who was hidden from social media, denied public recognition, and then forced to watch their ex completely transform their entire personality for a global icon. They pointed out the inherent pain of watching a past love easily grant someone else the exact validation, public pride, and openness that they repeatedly refused to give to you during a multi-year relationship. As these arguments raged across the comment sections of the internet, representatives for both Callum Turner and Victoria Villarroel were contacted by major British media outlets, including the Daily Mail, for official statements regarding the viral clip, though a formal response has yet to materialize from either camp. This silence has only added to the underlying tension, transforming a simple piece of resurfaced audio into a massive cultural debate about the ethics of modern relationships, the true nature of personal change, and the complex reality of watching a former lover ascend to the absolute peak of international celebrity status alongside another person. The profound digital debate surrounding the true nature of personal growth and past relationships stands in sharp, dramatic contrast to the sheer magnificence of the life that Callum Turner and Dua Lipa are currently building together. To fully comprehend why this situation has captured the absolute fascination of millions worldwide, one must examine the breathtaking scale of their recent nuptials, an event that firmly established them as one of the most influential power couples in the modern entertainment landscape. The journey that culminated in their spectacular summer wedding began in the opening days of January 2024 at an exclusive industry gathering in Los Angeles. Far from the typical Hollywood setup, the two multi-talented individuals initially bonded over a shared intellectual passion, discovering that they were both deeply engrossed in reading the exact same literary work, the complex and critically acclaimed novel Trust by author Hernan Diaz. This immediate cerebral connection quickly blossomed into a profound, unbreakable romance that moved forward with remarkable certainty. Just weeks ago, on June 6, the couple officially formalized their commitment at the historic Marylebone Town Hall in the heart of London, surrounded by an intimate circle of deeply trusted family members and lifelong friends. However, this private civil ceremony was merely the elegant prelude to a massive, multi-day international celebration that would soon become the focal point of global media attention. 3 days after their official legal union, the newlyweds and their elite guests jetted off to the breathtaking, sun-drenched island of Sicily, descending upon the historic town of Palermo for an extraordinary 3-day wedding party that reportedly cost an astounding £5 million. The magnificent celebrations were hosted within the breathtaking walls of the historic Villa Valguarnera, a legendary estate that provided a majestic, timeless backdrop for a highly emotional spiritual blessing. The scale of the event reflected the couple's immense standing in global culture, with a guest list that brought together some of the most iconic figures in music, fashion, and art. The pop icon's legendary lifelong friend Sir Elton John delivered an unforgettable, deeply moving live performance of his timeless hit song, Your Song, providing a breathtaking soundtrack for the newlyweds' initial dances. Joining the legendary balladeer were fellow contemporary pop trailblazer Charli XCX and the legendary fashion visionary Donatella Versace, both of whom added an undeniable aura of high fashion prestige to the historic Italian estate. The bride herself looked absolutely ethereal in a custom haute couture Chanel gown meticulously masterminded by the visionary designer Matteo Blasi. The breathtaking garment, which Lipa finally unveiled to her hundreds of millions of social media followers over the subsequent weekend, featured a dramatic backless halter neck design, completely embellished with thousands of glittering silver and white beads. The true centerpiece of the ensemble was an immense, sweeping train covered in 25,000 delicate white feathers, perfectly complemented by a plume of matching feathers nestled in her hair that joined seamlessly with a cathedral-length veil, a masterpiece of craftsmanship that required over 3,200 hours of dedicated embroidery to complete. Beside her, Turner cut an exceptionally dapper figure in a bespoke, perfectly tailored Louis Vuitton suit, embodying the timeless elegance of a classic leading man. The newly released imagery from the private estate captured a couple entirely consumed by happiness, celebrating their union by partying alongside their loved ones until 6 in the morning. A marathon of joy that concluded with a spectacular 10-minute fireworks display illuminating the Sicilian night sky. In every single photograph, holding a glass of fine champagne, the pop superstar appeared to be the absolute picture of human happiness, dancing away the night in the arms of the man who had completely transformed his perspective on public life. Additional striking black and white portraits captured by the internationally renowned fashion photographer David Sims offered a rare artistic glimpse into the quiet moments of the day, showing a nervous Turner waiting patiently for his breathtaking bride to arrive, and Lipa posing majestically against the ancient stone walls of the Italian villa grounds. By sharing these stunning glimpses on her personal digital platforms with the simple declarative caption, reading Mr. and Mrs., the global artist signaled to the world that she had found a profound absolute sense of security and completeness. The evening prior to the main ceremony featured a glamorous, high-energy welcome cocktail party hosted at the prestigious Galleria Moderna, where the bride stunned onlookers in a custom-made Bottega Veneta cocktail dress. The deep emotional roots of the couple were on full display throughout the entire weekend as Lipa was proudly given away by her father, Ducagin Lipa, who has also long served as her professional manager and trusted career architect. Meanwhile, Turner's beloved mother, Rose Turner, the legendary former nightclub doorwoman who single-handedly raised the actor in London and deeply influenced his artistic tastes, was granted an incredibly special, highly honored role during the ceremonial events, underscoring the deep family values that bind these two families together. Sources incredibly close to the newly married couple have revealed that their gaze is firmly fixed on a long, beautiful future together, noting that both individuals are highly family-oriented and are already looking forward to starting a family of their own in the near future. A close personal friend shared that they are so deeply in love that they want to be together forever, and they are openly discussing becoming parents in the not-too-distant future, a prospect that has brought immense excitement to their entire social circle. As the newlyweds enjoy an extended, deeply romantic honeymoon through the historic streets of Rome, the contrast between their present marital bliss and the viral claims made on the Better Half podcast highlights a powerful truth about modern fame. The unfolding drama serves as a stark reminder that every great love story often coexists with a trail of past chapters, and that personal evolution is rarely a neat or simple process. Whether Callum Turner truly altered his entire outlook on fame specifically because he met the love of his life, or whether the narrative of his past was simply interpreted differently by those he left behind, the reality